So, good morning to one and all present here. I, Gulshan Kumar, on behalf of IIC, Jagannath International Management School, Vasant Kunj, would like to welcome our guest, Mrs. Vandana Saxena. We are fortunate to have with us Ms. Vandana Saxena, who will be enlightening with her story, and the topic for the session would be My Story, Motivational Session by Successful Innovators. Before I start the program, let me introduce Ms. Vandana Saxena. Ms. Vandana Saxena is postgraduate in PMIR, Personal Management and Industrial Relations, and also done her diploma in Business English and Office Administration from New Delhi YMCA. She is an amazing personality who, along with these decorations, is also certified in content writing and digital marketing from Henry Harvin Education. She started her professional career in the year 1999 in the field of HR operations. In 2007, she started her work in strategic HR post-maternity break, and in 2009, she was promoted to the position of director in Unified Credit Solutions Private Limited. In 2018, she published her first blog, which till date has garnered more than 10 million views across the social platforms. After getting decorated with various certifications and specialization, she is currently working as an established soft, soft skill trainer and digital content creator. She has professionally served in prestigious companies, some of which are Ebony, Alcatel, Business Systems, Unified Credit Solutions, and the list continues. Delivering more than 100 instructor-led soft skills training sessions in various domains, including content writing, creative writing, presentation skills, communication skills, etc. Recording numerous self-paced training for writing skills and soft skills, winning over 15 awards under various categories for writing and training skills, winning 500 writing challenges on various publishing platforms, and getting ranked among top authors on Momspresso with over 350 published articles and over 10 million views are some of her prime accomplishments. She has also collaborated and worked with renowned brands including Dabur, Jandu, Mankind, Birla, Ashirwad, etc. But before getting on board with the session, I just want to inform one and all present here that we are organizing this kind of workshops and seminar under IIC, that is Institution Innovation Council. IIC was established on 21st November 2018 at GIMS Vasant Kunj. As per the norms and directives of Ministry of Human Resource Development Innovation SAIL, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India has established MIC at AICTE with a purpose to systematically foster the culture of innovation in all higher education institutions across the country. The primary mandate of Innovation Cell is to encourage, inspire, and nurture young students by exposing them to new ideas and process resulting in innovative activities in their formative years. Through network of innovation clubs in higher educational institutions. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Vandana Saxena to enlighten us with her knowledge and experience. Ma'am, now the stage is yours.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Am I clearly visible and audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope. Yeah, all right. So thank you for that wonderful introduction. I couldn't have done it myself. So indeed, thank you. So I'm here to share my story. So I'll start to share the screen, but before we start, I would request all of you to make consistent use of the chat box, because definitely I'll be asking a lot of questions and you have to answer all of them. Obviously, you will be asking a lot of questions. You are free to ask as many questions as you wish to, because that is perhaps the second step towards learning when you ask questions. So I'll just begin with the session now, and I'll start to share the screen with due permission from GIMS. I mean, if I can.
Yes, ma'am, you can. I will stop sharing.
Sure. I hope all of you are able to see the screen. You can make consistent use of the chat box, all of you, so that, so I have made this presentation, and I have, my story is more about reinventing myself after working for almost 2 decades. And after, I have lived 4 decades of my life. So I have named it as reinventing self. So I'll be discussing that how I reinvented myself and how you can reinvent yourself and, become what you might have been always. So we'll start with a quick question answer round. So what do you think? So when I started, I had certain motives of my life, and I started 22 years ago. I have been working for 23 years. I started with certain motives of my life. I had certain goals. I had certain motives. So what do you think are the motives of your life, the 3 important motives of your life? So you can make consistent use of the chat box. You can post your answers in the chat box. I'm keeping an eye. So please get to the chat box and let me know what are the 3 motives of your life. Meanwhile, they have given a wonderful introduction for me, but if you wish to know more, you can just Google me. I'm easily searchable. So I request everyone to please get to the chat box and answer what are the 3 motives of your life now that you are starting. Okay, I've yet to receive in some responses, but I would request everyone to please get to the chat box and let me know what you think are the 3 motives of your life now that you will be starting your life soon professionally, or maybe in few years, in next 2-3 years. Fame, money, peace, wonderful. Okay, yes, go on. All right, I can read that. All right, any more? Success, wonderful. Okay, go on. So the 3 important motives of your life that when you start your life, fame, money, peace is one thing. All right. Any more answers on that? Career, money, happiness, happiness. You should be happy. This is, you should follow this one rule in life. Do something that makes you feel happy. Anything that makes you feel happy. Go on. Career, money, and happiness. Yes. Any more answers? Security, money, mental peace. Get into IIM, success, money. Yes. Okay. All right. Go on. What else? So somebody says success, somebody says money, somebody says, I want to get into IIM. What more? Satisfaction, contentment. Yes, that's indeed important. Security, indeed important. Yes. What are the 3 other 3? So we have somewhere around 100 people on board, but I have received 3-4 answers. So others can also go on. Feel free to share. So whatever you share here, it stays here only. So go on. Go on with your answers. So primarily, what happens is the 3 important motives of your life, or anybody's life, when you start your life or when you begin your life, is these are the 3. You want to earn something, you want money. So as soon as your qualification is completed, you want to earn money. So once you have earned enough money, you want companionship. You get into a relationship or you get married or whatever. So once these are the basic things that you want in life or you want to aim at. So you earn money, you have companionship, and then you grow. So you grow with time, you evolve. Whatever you do, you become a management professional, you become an engineer, you become a doctor, you become a writer, whatever field you go in, you start evolving. You learn and you evolve. And once you evolve, your ultimate aim to be successful. How many of you want to be successful? Get to the chat boxes. I guess everyone, anybody who doesn't want to be successful right now. So I guess everyone wants to be successful. Yes, you want to be successful. Even I wanted to be successful. So these were the 3 motives. These are primarily the 3 motives for anyone who has to begin a life or who has to start professionally. Anybody. Okay, so somebody says satisfaction at any cost. Contentment, yes. So this is definitely taking you forward. So you need to earn money. Money is indeed important, because if you don't earn money, it will be difficult for you to survive. It is a tough world these days. You need companionship, because if you do not have anyone to share your feelings with, it also becomes difficult for you to survive. And then success is achieved. So this you get, you earn, and success is achieved. You achieve success. Now, the next thing that you do is the 3 driving factors. for achieving success, there can be 3 driving factors that you need. So to earn money, to companionship, to success, to achieve all of this, you need 3 driving factors. You need to understand your work well. You need to understand your profession well. You need to have the understanding of the subject that you are trying to work in. You need to have some kind of technical knowledge. You need to have some kind of professional knowledge, and then you have to know your capability. And the third thing that you get is motivation. If you do not feel motivated, you don't want to work. So if you keep working and you do not get motivated, if your employer doesn't give you a pay raise, he doesn't appraise you, he doesn't give you a pat on your back, do you want to work for the same employer, or would you want to leave?
Hello?
Do you want to work for the same employer, or you want to leave? Get to the chat boxes.
Lab. Computer lab.
You want to leave. Yes, you want to leave, you because indeed motivation is important. So these 3 things. So after you have these 3 driving factors, what do you achieve? So you have a lot of motivation, you have a lot of capability, and you understand your work well. Now, what do you achieve after all this? Get to the chat boxes. Let's make it a little make this session a little interactive. Those who are comfortable can switch on your videos and make consistent use of the chat box, please. So what do you want to, what are the 2 things that you achieve in life after having an understanding, after having the capability, and after having the motivation for your entire work? What do you achieve after you have these driving factors? Can you get to the chat box, everyone? So what I started with, let me just share my story with you. When I started, I didn't have this easy access to Google. I started in the 90s, late 90s, and the access to Google was not that easy. So there were only dial-up connections, right? So we had to dial up, and we were given only 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening to dial up and send our emails. And that used to be clocked because the internet was expensive those days, right? So when I started working, there used to be only one connection at one floor, and we had to dial up and connect with it. So it was my capability to understand and understanding that, okay, these are the 15 minutes window that I have to work or access the internet. Okay, so that is but what do you achieve after you have these driving factors? Can you let me know? Make use of the chat box, please. So when you want these 3 things, you want to earn, you want companionship, and you want success. The next 3 driving factors are understanding, capability, and motivation. What are the 2 things that you achieve after all this? Can you tell me? Anybody who wants to answer this one? I would request everyone to please get to the chat box. What are the 2 things that you achieve? You either achieve success or you achieve failure, right? You either achieve success or you achieve failure. So you either succeed or you fail. Now, how many of you want to fail or have failed in anything or have not achieved? Success can be moderate, success can be huge, success can be minor, failure can be minor, failure can be even if it is minor, we don't accept it. How many of you are okay to fail? Get to the chat boxes. Anybody who's okay to fail? I mean, that's a wrong question to ask, but then let me just ask anybody who's okay to fail. I know the answers, but anybody who's okay to fail. So we'll take this up. Get to the chat box. Anybody who's okay to fail. So let me tell you, I am the one who has failed more than I have achieved, right? So I have failed enough. So if I have not worked for it, then it's okay, right? But if you have worked for it, you work hard and then you fail, do you want to accept it? Do you want to accept it if you work hard and then you fail in something? You want to accept it? Okay, so let me tell you what success brings to you. So when you succeed, it brings happiness. Yes or no? Get to the chat boxes. What success brings is to you is happiness. You become happy. So little success, you have, you are promoted to a company, or maybe you succeed in an exam, you have scored 90, 95% in an exam. Does it not bring you happiness? It will indeed bring you happiness. Any small success will bring you happiness. Now, success will also bring you monetary gain. It's easy for you to crack a job interview. It is easy on the basis of your, the track record. You get the monetary gain. So whenever you get a promotion, you also get a monetary gain. Whenever you crack a job interview, you also get a monetary gain. So with success, you get happiness, you get monetary gain. If you remain successful and you achieve higher success, you get fame. And what else? Can you tell me a few more things that you achieve with success, or what success brings to you? What success means to you, or what will it bring to you other than happiness, monetary gain, or fame? Can you let me know? Can you let me know what else? Waiting for the responses in the chat box, please. I would request everyone to please make consistent use of the chat box, because if you don't make use of the chat box, the session will become a little boring. So I want you to make use of the chat box, please. Okay. So what success brings satisfaction. Yes. Okay. What else? All right. What else? What else success brings to you? Respect. Wonderful. Okay. Bang on. What else? Respect. Yes. Okay. It will bring satisfaction. It will bring respect. It will bring responsibility. It will bring recognition. It will bring, okay, wonderful. So responsibility, yes, it will bring responsibility. It will bring recognition, all of that. So success brings you fear of failure. So once you become successful, do you want to fail again? Do you have that capability? So I'll tell you something. So if you have already, I will ask you a question. Now, if you have worked for, say, 5 years, you have achieved something towards or to a certain level. 5 years you have already worked in any field that you are an expert in. Do you have the heart to give up, and you realize that you're not enjoying your work? Right? You realize that you're not enjoying it. This is not something that you're made for, or this is not something that maybe you don't want to do this, but you have achieved certain level of success in 5 years. Now, do you have the heart to give up everything and start afresh with what you wanted to do? Do you have this? Say yes or no. Get to the chat box. Will you do that? Okay. Get to the chat boxes. So if you have, like, I give you the, yeah, so no, somebody says no. All right. So if I say that, you've no, most people say no. Okay. Right. Okay. So you want to continue. So would you like to continue what you are not enjoying doing, but you are being successful? You will enjoy your success in that sense? No, you don't. Okay. No, you don't want to start afresh. Why? Because you have that fear of failure. So what success brings to you is fear of failure. You don't want to fail. You don't want to start afresh, because you may fail. You never know. So let me just tell you, when I started working, I appeared for 100 interviews before I took over my first job, or before I was selected for my first job. And when I was working, or when I had actually started to look for jobs, or when I had to begin my professional career, my communication skills were poor. Most of the places where I was rejected was my communication skills were poor. I couldn't speak English well, but I could write it very well. My written communication skills were excellent, but my spoken English, I didn't have that kind of confidence that I could speak English. So most of the times I failed in the interviews. Can you believe it? Right? So the first thing that I got over before I started my first job was the fear of failure, because I'd failed enough. Right? Now, the problem with success is that when you have achieved certain level, you don't want to restart. And once I started my first job, they said that, okay, this is the job that we can give you. This is more of something like HR operations. They called me an HR executive. I started as an HR executive, but then they said that, okay, these are the files that you have to complete. These are the personal files. They should have the offer letters. They should have the appointment letters. They should have the confidentiality agreement. The files are not complete. So you have to do a certain job of completing the files and organizing them. So that didn't require any HR skills for that matter, because I had to only organize the paper. So I took up because I wanted to start from somewhere at least. And when I started organizing the file, gradually I realized there was an HR executive in my office who used to write the offer letters for the new appointments. Okay. So he was absent for some time, 2-3 days perhaps, and there was a few recruitment which were happening for the MD's office. So MD was furious that how can the if the HR executive is not here, can you not release the offer letter and everything? So he had, those days we used to have the passwords in the computer. So if you are using a computer, you can, we used to work on desktop. If you're using a computer, you can just lock your computer and then you can go. So I, as an obviously an file organizer, I offered that, can I write the offer letter? I can do it. So that is how I did the first HR job, right? And after that, I thought maybe they will promote me to HR executive, or maybe, you know, I wrote the offer letters, I did everything. I did the joining formalities with the new recruits. I did everything while he was on leave. I took over his job for a certain period while he was on leave for some reason. And I expected that they would promote me as an HR executive. But did they? No, they didn't. They said, no, this is not where you belong. You cannot do this. And I kept working. I didn't leave the job because I wanted to learn something. That was an opportunity for me to. So what happened is, gradually HR executive, he started to depend on me. He used to give me work and put his signatures and send it to other people or send it to people. And it kept happening. What happened is that whatever work I was doing, he lost the track of what he was doing. And gradually I took over, and after 2 years I was promoted as HR executive. So I got successful. Now I didn't want to. So I worked. I was then working with Ebony. So for 4-5 years I had a rise there. You know, when I left the company after 5 years, I was working as a senior HR executive, and I was managing a team of managing HR for a team of 100 people. I was managing the entire HR for the buying, merchandising, and customer relations, which had a team of 100 people. So that is what I learned. Now, after that, you know, companionship came, and I got married, and I had to leave. So I continued to work, and I had to leave for some reasons. And after 2-3 years, I again started working. Now, when I started working, now I had to start afresh. I started working, I was looking for something which came my way, which should be better than senior HR executive. But what came my way, do you know? I started working as an executive assistant to the managing director. I started afresh. So that is how, you know, I got over, the first thing that I got over was the fear of failure, because, you know, I worked for a certain level and then I started all over again. So I have restarted my life twice. You know, I restarted my professional career twice, once after marriage and then after maternity. So after maternity also, I worked for some years, and then there was a maternity break for me, and I kept working. And then again, I had to start from the basic HR executive. When I, you know, after marriage, when I left the job for maternity, I was working already as an assistant manager HR, or perhaps I was due to be promoted as manager HR, and then I gave up and I had to take care of my child. And there was again a 2 years gap. And then I started working as assistant HR executive. So that is how I started working. So what, the first thing that I got over was the fear of failure. So it's absolutely, you know, we do not want to fail, but then let me tell you that what failure brings to you. We know what success brings to you, but this is what failure brings to you: a zeal to thrive, because you want to bounce back, right? A new learning, you learn something new, be it simple thing, you know, you try to accomplish a project and you are not able to do it. What you learn is, where did you go wrong? Success never gives you that idea. The failure tells you that where did you go wrong. Okay, you get innovative ideas, you innovate yourself, you understand that, okay, this is one way. Supposedly you are doing something, this is one way, you have you know, you have not succeeded some way, so you find another way to succeed, you find another idea to succeed. So it gives you some kind of ideas, you innovate yourself, you know, get some new techniques to succeed again. So what failure brings is the zeal to thrive, something new to learn, and obviously some ideas, a reason to introspect that success doesn't give you. It gives you a reason to introspect. You get to know about your strength, you get to know about your weakness. How many times do you do this analysis? Do you ever do this analysis? Right? Do you ever do this analysis? That what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? Anybody who? Yes, you do. What are my strengths? You should do this analysis often. So in our, in our country, or I would say this is in maximum countries. So what we are taught from the beginning as a child, that you are supposed to succeed. You are supposed to score 90%, 90, 95%, or you cannot succeed less than 80%. You will not get admission to the college. You will not get admission to the courses of your choice. And I had the same pressure. How many of you have the same pressure that, okay, I have to, get 90%, 90, 95%. So let me just tell you, I scored 60% in my 12th examination, and I scored less than 60%, maybe 56% in the 10th examination. So that is what I scored. And I have never used my report cards ever, anywhere. Okay. So when I scored 60%, my cousins, they were doing bio, they got admitted for biomedical instrumentation in BIT Pilani, and I got to do the vocational course from the Alsing Evening College. Can you see the difference? Right? So that is what happened. And I was like, okay with that, because for me, that was fine. I mean, getting through to a college in Delhi University was a big deal for me. So I knew my weakness, that I cannot study a certain things, or I cannot do certain subjects. I'm not good at math. I'm not good at science. So maybe I'll do something which is my strength. So my strength is language. Why not get into language? My strength is, dealing with people. So why not, or liaising with people, why not get into HR? So that is how I realized. So when you fail, you know that what is your strength and your weakness. And what failure brings to you is an opportunity to reinvent yourself that success can never give you. Right? So whenever you fail, you have an opportunity that you have to reinvent yourself. Okay. So you know that, okay, this is not working with me, and this is something else. I should be doing something else. I should be doing something which is more suitable for me. I should be doing something which is more of me, more I want to do, or more I can do it better. Right? And once you do, or once you reinvent yourself, it is obviously followed by success with contentment. So success brings you happiness, but what will you choose? Success with happiness or success with contentment? Why contentment? Because you have reinvented yourself. You have invested effort in something that you always wanted to do. Okay. So what do you want? Success with happiness? Get to the chat boxes and let me know what you want. Success with happiness or success with contentment? What means more to you? Success definitely means. So even if you fail, you succeed after that. But what failure teaches you, success can never teach you. Right? So if you're not succeeding in something, it doesn't mean that this is the end of life. No, this is not the end of it. You have an opportunity to reinvent yourself. So I'll just take forward my story. So what happened that I kept working. I started working as an executive assistant to managing director, and I kept working after that. Again, then there was a maternity break, and then I started working again. So there were a few times that I had to relaunch myself or relaunch my career. So I joined a company called Unified Credit Solutions, which were into credit management, and they were an office of 18 people, small setup. So I had to give up an assignment with American Express Bank because I had a small baby to take care of. I had to balance my life. And I picked up something which was close to my house on 5 kilometers difference. And so that if my baby ever needs me, I can get back to her all the time at beck and call or something like that. So I started working. So I worked for 1 year, 2 years, but I worked with so much of commitment that I became a signatory in the company within 3 years. And within 3 years of my working, I got promoted to one of the directors on board. And that was where it all started. So I was enjoying my success. I was enjoying, I had a monetary gain. I had this happiness. I was working less hours. My baby was being taken care of. Everything was going fine. I kept working with them for 10 years, and I worked in almost every department. I worked for them in marketing. I worked for them in accounts. Since I was one of the directors on board, so I ensured that I work in every department, or I take care of everything. So I worked in marketing, I worked in accounts, I worked in IT, I worked in HR, obviously, and I worked in corporate communication. Since my writing skills were good, everybody wanted me to take care of the writing part of their department. So I used to do that. I used to prepare marketing presentations. I used to chase the clients for invoices because they worked with international clientele. So that is what I did. So I kept working. So for 10 years, I continued to work with them. And after 10 years, I realized, now this is something, I have done enough. I want to reinvent myself. So I was a little bored, or you can say that I was tired of a monotonous life, working 9 to 5, leaving home at 8:30 in the morning and getting back home at 6 and doing the same thing again and again. So I found myself stagnant. So if you find yourself stagnant, what do? Do you change the job? Get to the chat boxes. Do you change the job, or do you uh, uh, do something else, or what do you do? If you find yourself stagnant anywhere, what do? Do you change the job, or what you look for something else? I mean, you are fine, not monetarily. I was not monetarily stagnant. I was getting consistent raises in my income, but then I was stagnant in terms of profile. I mean, I was doing the same thing day in, day out. I was doing the same thing. I was chasing the clients. I was doing the HR thing. I was working towards the marketing and sending submissions to the client, managing clients and everything. So I was a little it became a little cliche for me to work day in, day out. Will you change the job? Yes. So somebody says that, yes, I will change the job. What I did was, I was a little bored of this. So what I did was that I started a blog. I wrote my first blog because I wanted to, because I had this flair for writing. I used to read a lot of articles, content. So I wrote my first blog without telling even my family, without telling anyone that I'm writing my first blog. And somehow I wrote it on a guest blogging website, and somehow it got published. And I was a little surprised. Oh, I mean, is it published also? Is it that good? So yes, so I got published, and that was my first blog, which was published back in 2018. So that was published, and I was glad that it is published. And I thought, wow, wonderful. But the responses that I got on that blog were awesome, unmatched. So I decided that, okay, why not start with another blog, then another one, then another one. Within a year, the blog got 10 million views. And I told my employer that I want to start afresh. I don't want to work for you. And he was shocked. And he was like, already after working for 10 years, 10 long years, you have given 10 years of your life to me. Your life is going fine. I mean, you are earning well. Why do you want to start afresh? And I like, no, I mean, this is cliche. I want to start myself afresh. And I was bored, and I started with the professional content writing and digital marketing course, which was upcoming those days. These days, content is big, huge, since the onset of the pandemic. But those days, content was an upcoming concept. So I started with content first, and that blog became popular, and I was so motivated to write a blog almost every week. So I started writing every week, and the kind of response that I got on that blog was unmatched. Within a year, that blog reached more than 10 million views. So I decided that, okay, this is how to reinvent myself. I should reinvent or rediscover the writer in me. I rediscovered the writer in me, and that is how I became a writer, and then I followed a content writing course. So when you reinvent yourself, success comes with contentment. Every time when a person commented on my blog or said that you are such a wonderful writer, it gives me a lot of contentment that, okay, this is something that I have done. So how to reinvent yourself? Can you give me some ideas about how to reinvent yourself? If you have to reinvent yourself, what will you do? Will you do something which is, I mean, what are the reasons? I mean, how will you reinvent yourself? Can you get to the chat boxes? How to reinvent yourself? Any idea? If you have to reinvent yourself, what will you do? Will you leave everything and start something afresh? Or, I mean, what will you do? I want to know. Get to the chat boxes. Waiting for your explore other things. Okay, wonderful. What else? Okay, what are the other things that you will explore if you have to reinvent yourself? Explore myself. Wonderful. Okay, what else? Okay. All right. So somebody says that I will try to explore myself. Somebody says that I'll try something new. But let me just tell you that how to reinvent yourself. Let me read some research, get into, learn from the past and let go of the past, introspect and okay, research, get into the field of my interest. Wonderful, that you should do. Right. So let me tell you that how to reinvent yourself. No one knows better than you. Okay, no one knows you better than you. Know yourself, know what gives you. So if you're paid, whatever you are doing, if at the end of the day, while you are sleeping, if you're not feeling or getting back to your day or smiling at something that this is what I have achieved today, or this is what I have done today, or this is what I have learned new today, you are not in the right place. Instead, you need to reinvent yourself. So you know what you are. So know that I'm good at this, know that I'm bad at this, I can do this, I can do so anything. So believe in trying for no real reasons. Try everything. So I keep trying something like this. I got an opportunity. I have been a writer for past 5-7 years. I have been a writer. I have been delivering soft skills training, more into HR and all of that. But somebody came up to me saying that, okay, can you walk the ramp for me? And I was like, wow, I mean, I've never done this, but I don't think so I can do it. I've never done this. So no, this is a brand they are an established brand of Indian wear. And they said that, okay. I said, no, I'm not a model. I've never done this. So they said that, okay, fine. I mean, you can think and let me know. So that's something that I accepted, and I decided that even if I fail, I will get to learn something. So I tried it for no real reasons. I have tried my hands on cooking. I have tried my hands on travel blog. I have tried my hands on too many things that I have failed in. But what I have succeeded in is writing so far, right? Or soft skills training. So you never know what clicks. So writing came just like that. I just tried to write a blog and clicked. So believe in trying, keep trying. And see, there is a famous quote by Jack Ma. If we keep trying, and at times it is not necessary that we get successful after every try. So today it may be difficult, tomorrow will be worse. Let me just show you that the quote from Jack Ma that we ever see. You can Google Jack Ma, and he says today may be difficult, tomorrow may be worse, but day after is sunshine. Now the problem is 90% of us give up tomorrow. We don't get to day after. So that's where the problem is. So keep trying. If it's absolutely okay to fail. If you fail, you learn something, but keep trying. You shouldn't have a reason to try. Something that comes your way, make an opportunity and try it. Any challenge that comes your way, just make an opportunity and try it. Okay, step out of your comfort zone. You are comfortable doing a certain job, like I'm comfortable doing a training, but I stepped out of my comfort zone and I walked the ramp just because I wanted to try it. And after that, I have received at least 3-4 brands to tell me that, okay, can you walk the ramp for us? Can you walk the ramp? I was like, no, I cannot. I mean, this is not something that I want to do. Right. So the question is, so I wanted to, when, my daughter wanted to get into a piano class. So she said that, okay, I mean, I can do the teacher she was a great pianist. She had learned piano for like 2-3 years, and her teacher came up to me saying that she has to perform in a school band. And I said, fine. I mean, let me ask her. She said, no, you have to decide that she has to perform and I'm sure she can perform. And I was like, yes, I know she can perform. She has learned piano for 3 years. Definitely she can perform. The bigger question is, does she want to? So you should do what you want to, not what you can. You can do a lot of things, but do you want to? So when she joined this French, when you start with 8th, or maybe when you start in 6th standard or grade 6, you have this third language with you, right? How many of you chose French? Get to the chat box. How many of you chose French? So yeah, so what happens is my daughter also, yeah, a few people have. So my daughter also chose French, and she was doing wonderful in French. She could communicate well in French, and she was scoring good marks also. So her French teacher tried to convince me that why do you not allow her to take French forward? She's saying no to take French language in the 9th grade. I said, and she can do it. She can appear for an exam, A level or C level. I think there are some exams from the French embassy that are being conducted for the French language. So I asked that, and she said that she can definitely do it. So I said, yes, I know she can do it, but the question is that she doesn't want to do it. So the only thing that you have to believe or do is what you want to, not what you can. Ensure what you are doing, you want to do it. You can do everything that you want to do. Age is just a number, because I reinvented myself after living 4 decades of my life. I started my blog at 40. Now it is, within 5 years, it has crossed over. Now this is over 11 millions actually, right? So this is what, it's never too late to become what you might have been. It's never too late. So try, reinvent yourself at any age. Even if you have worked for 20 years, you can reinvent yourself. You have worked for 5 years. If you see, like somebody said that after working for 5 years, I may not want to reinvent myself, but then yes, you can. It is just a number. There are, so my life has taught me, or my professional life or my career has taught me 10 do's of life that I'm going to share with you. The first do is make your own decision. Right? You can also keep sharing if you have learned anything in your life that you should do or you should not do. You can make use of the chat box in that case. Okay, so make your own decisions. Do not depend on anyone. Do not let your parents decide. Do not let, okay, they can guide you. They are there to guide you. Definitely. Do not let your parents decide what you have to do. Be clear about what you want to do. Okay, so, or do not let anyone, not your spouse, not your siblings. What we do is, how many of you wake up early in the morning? Let me ask this question, since this is the generation Z, so Gen Z. Let me just ask you this question: how many of you wake up to Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp? You wake up in the morning and you check your Facebook, Instagram, for WhatsApp the first thing? Tell me. Say yes. The first thing that you that you check in the morning, the Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. I think everybody does that. Even I do that, right? But yes, everybody does that. Everybody does that. I can vouch on this. I think I should receive all the 100 answers here, right? So yes, everybody does that. Most of us do that, but it's absolutely fine. Social media is indeed important in the, they are the time, these are the times of pandemic. Social media is indeed important for all of us to stay connected. But the problem is that we get affected by what other people are doing. So that should not happen. That do not have that kind of influence what other people are doing, or let these social media posts not affect your decisions. Make your own decisions always. So if you're not confident, how many of you feel nervous at the time of presentation or anything? How many of you feel nervous about it? Anybody who feels nervous? How many of you feel nervous? I think everyone. So if you're nervous, who knows it other than you? Does anyone know it? If I am feeling nervous right now, does any of you will be able to know it? No, it's only you who knows that you are nervous, right? Don't show it. Fake your confidence. That is one rule that I have followed in my life, that if you're not confident, don't show it. Don't let other people know that you're not confident or you're feeling nervous. Fake it. It's simple, fake your confidence as much as you can. Be open to learn. So I told you the second step towards learning is to ask questions. What is the first step towards learning? When we began the course, I told you that the second step of learning, second step towards learning is to ask questions. Ask as many questions as you wish to. But what is the first step towards learning? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody tell me what is the first step towards learning? The first step towards learning is to accept that you don't know, right? How many of you feel a little taken aback if somebody tries to correct your grammar while speaking, if somebody tries to correct you while you are doing something? We may or may not like it. depends on, at times we do not agree with our teachers as well. That's absolutely fine. But you should know that the first step towards learning is to accept that you don't know. If you don't accept that you don't know, you will never be able to learn. Be open to learn always, even when you grow old. I've grown old, but I'm always open to learn. I end up learning something new in every session. If you want to reinvent yourself, the first thing that you need is money that you need to rely on. Okay, so because there will be some period where you may not be earned. When I started with the freelancing, I started with freelancing in some years ago. So when I started with freelancing, I wasn't sure whether this will go well, or whether I will succeed or I will fail, or what will happen. So I had to have some savings for my survival. So if when you start working, if you are earning 100 rupees, save 25 rupees, right? So try to save 20 to 25% of your savings. So savings only happen when you do not get or do not spend over the top. So over the top is, if you want to buy a car, you can do with a small car also. So if you want to buy an SUV, that's fine, that's your choice. But the point is, you should know where you are overspending. So I have always kept a small car, because I know in Delhi it is, a few people have always asked me, even when I go for lectures or when I go for meetings, even my husband has said that, why don't you buy a bigger car? And I'm like, no, fine, I'm fine with an entry level car, because in Delhi, you don't need a bigger car. I don't need a bigger house. I need a comfort. Okay, yes, I want to achieve all the comforts of my life, but yes, I do not want to get into luxuries. So the money that I want to spend in luxuries, I'd rather save it and use it when I'm trying to reinvent myself. So that is where you have to, okay, yes, everybody, you should be doing whatever you wish to do in life. You want to achieve something, you want to spend something, you want to own diamonds. Yes, definitely you should spend on that, but ensure that you have 25% of your earnings as your savings, so that when you try to reinvent yourself, you have some money to fall back upon. Be a human. So how many of you greet your guard in the morning, and how many of you wait if the housekeeping staff is mopping the floor? Do you do that? See, so yes, a few people do this, but then let me tell you, more you are human, more you are remembered. All my employers, over the span of 23 years, all my employers, they have remembered me for what I am. All the team members, even the guard of the organization where I work first, call me for his daughter's wedding, because the simple reason is, every morning I used to go to office and check with him that, how are you? And I still remember his name, and he said, I used to ask him, how are you? Aap kaise hain? So that is something that he has always remembered. So when his daughter got married, he called me that, okay, you are invited for my daughter's wedding. And it's something that people will remember you for a longer time. Say thank you, please, sorry. It is absolutely fine. I mean, it makes you more human, nothing else, right? So it will take you forward. People will remember you for a long time, especially when it is your employers, especially when it is your team member. So you never know who is the person who can give a turning point to your life. So it's better that you be a human all the time. Do indulge in 3 habits. Read as much as you can. Download the Amazon Kindle app. If you do not have the Kindle device, download an Amazon Kindle app. You can download Goodreads, download Times of India, India Times, In Shorts. There are a lot of reading apps. Read Ruskin Bond. Don't read Chetan Bhagat, but read Ruskin Bond. Read Robin Sharma, the 5 a.m. Club. It will tell you how to bring discipline in your life. The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Read The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. Read Jeffrey Archer. Read George Orwell. These are some wonderful writers who have created some wonderful literary pieces. Read, it makes you wise. Listen to other people. It makes you wise. You get to learn something or the new. And travel. Instead of spending on a luxury car, I prefer spending on travel, because well traveled is well learned. It makes you confident. It makes you wise. Respect time. It's running. Run with it, or maybe ahead of it. Try to keep yourself updated. Keep adding some new skills every year. Do a certification course. Do learn something that you have always been. I started, all my life I wanted to learn swimming. But when I turned 35, he said that, no, you're too old for swimming. Maybe you do not have that. You have to lose some weight. I was fat. So maybe you have to lose some weight and it will not be possible for you. I said, fine, I'll try losing, losing some weight, and then maybe it's easier for me to swim. So when I went into the pool for the first time, I weighed somewhere around 80 kgs and I couldn't swim. So just because I failed in swimming and my daughter learned it in 15 days, I had that zeal to thrive that I have to learn swimming now because my daughter has learned it and I have not learned it. So I went back, lost some weight and came back. And I was like, now I can also swim. So I did it at the age of 35. So that's what failure brings to you. So when I failed learning it, I instead, I had this so when I had this zeal in me that I have to learn swimming, and when I touched the deep end, it was a kind of contentment that I cannot describe. Right? So respect time. That's one thing. Accept your gray areas. You cannot be perfect. You know that nobody of us, none of us is perfect. Right? No one can be perfect. You know that I'm a little short tempered, and I know I try to control it, but I know. So I say, or I am okay to apologize if it is for no reason. So you accept your gray areas. Look for solutions. If something has gone wrong, you've done a mistake, you have done a blunder, do not look for explanation because something has already happened. That's not something that now you cannot do anything about it. Look for solutions, right? And never give up. I gave you the example or the quote from Jack Ma, who says that today may be difficult, tomorrow may be worse, and day after is sunshine. 90% of us give up give up tomorrow. So don't give up. Never ever give up, because that's something that will take you forward. Okay. See, also ensure that what is it for you. It may be difficult to decide that what you want in life, but you must be clear about what you don't want. Right? So for me, what I didn't want was in life was that I didn't want to take anyone's, or I didn't want anyone to tell me what I have to do. So I took my all decisions all my life. So whether it was a small or it was a small decision or a big decision, of even the decision of getting married. I mean, I didn't want to depend. So I was pretty clear that what I didn't want in life, I didn't want anybody to decide for me. So I took all my decisions. It may have gone wrong at certain areas, but that again, I will come to that I learned something out of it. Okay. So it may be difficult for you to decide what you want in life, but you must be clear, absolutely clear, that what you don't want in life. That's something that you have to do. Now I'll discuss the 10 don'ts of life. Before I discuss the 10 don'ts of life, I would request everyone to, tell me what you think that is a don't for life for you. Is a don't, the big no you in life. Can you get to the chat boxes for me? What are those 3 things that you feel that they are the don'ts of your life? Get to the chat boxes, everyone, please, before I move on. And after that, I guess we will still have never lose confidence. Wonderful. Okay. So after that, we will still have certain time, and I will be glad to answer or take up any questions if you have. Never lose confidence, never give up. Yeah. Okay. What are the more? What more? So for me, don't underestimate yourself. Don't think that I will not be able to do it. Try it, fail in it, try again, and then succeed. It's fine. Don't underestimate yourself. Nobody knows. Consistency is wonderful. Yeah. So nobody knows what you want in life. Nobody knows what you can do. Only you know what you can do. So even ego, wonderful. Yes. So never underestimate yourself. Don't think that I will not be able to do it. Fake your confidence if you're feeling nervous, but try doing it. Okay. Don't depend on the other gender. If you are a man, do not depend on a woman for your meals. If you're a woman, do not depend on a man for diamonds. Don't, or for your car. Depend on yourself. Do not depend on the other gender. Let not the other gender subservient to you. That doesn't help anyway. Be independent, right? Like I said, if you're a man, don't depend on a woman for your meals. If you're a woman, don't depend on a man for diamonds. Own them yourself. It is a different feeling, let me tell you. Now, give me this. I'll ask you a simple question. So you see a boat have anybody who has seen a ship or a boat in the sea ever? I guess everyone. Yeah. So can entire water in the sea sink the ship? The sea is huge, or maybe ship is, maybe a small ship. Can entire water in the sea sink a ship or not? It can or it cannot. No, it cannot. When what? Yeah. Now the problem is that the entire negativity in the world cannot affect you unless you take it. Like the entire water in the sea cannot sink a ship unless it gets into it. So stay away from negativity. Anybody who says that yeah, unless the ship has a hole, so do not have any holes. Do not let the negativity enter you ever, because once you have started doing that, it becomes difficult for you to bounce back. Do not let, even when you are not succeeding at something, you will have too many people telling you that, oh, you are good for nothing, you cannot do this, you have failed in it. Like when I was appearing for my first like I said that I failed in 100 interviews, a lot of people were telling me, oh, you are good for nothing, you can't be doing this, simple things you cannot answer. So my friends used to ask me what questions were asked in the interview, and you couldn't answer this one, you couldn't answer. I never took it. I went on my own pace, but finally I succeeded. So that's something. Negativity will not affect you unless you take it. Do not take any negativity. Stay away from it. If possible, give it back. But if it doesn't help, please don't. Don't take any negativity. Always seek help. It's absolutely okay to ask for help, but yes, you should know where are you asking. Okay, you should confide in someone. You should have some wonderful friends. I mean, real friends, obviously, not the ones that you show off on Facebook or something, but then yes, you should have some real friends who are there for you when you need. Seek help. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't, if we do not know something, we do not try to ask, we do not try to, if supposedly we want to learn a simple thing, we do not want to, we check on Google, but we do not want to call our friend who is an expert into it and ask if he can help, because that's something, that's an ego. Somebody said that, I don't want to ask for help. Ask for help, it's fine. Don't wait for opportunities. Let the challenges come and make opportunities out of it. Wonderful. It's wonderful. Every challenge is an opportunity for you. Don't wait for them. Opportunity comes to those who wait for it. Those who make it become successful. So that's what you want. Don't be judgmental. You never know what's undercover. Why? Because you met someone and you realize you met me, so you can understand or judge me on the basis of how I am speaking or something. But what happens is that it's you never know what I am capable of, or where I can click you, or where I can take you forward, right? Don't regret what has happened. Leave it in the past and look ahead. 3 things: learn, implement, share, repeat. So I learn, I implement it, I share in my training sessions, and repeat. Don't try to prove yourself. It's not worth it. Prove your credential at your workplace, prove your credential in your college, but don't try to prove yourself. It's not worth it. It may be proving yourself for yourself, but not for others, right? Comparison is killing. Don't compare yourself with anyone. So these are the 10 don'ts of life that you should always keep in mind. So I have told you the entire gist of learnings that I have learned over 20-25 years, or maybe, for 4.5 decades that I have lived in. So that's about, all the learnings. So I'm glad to take up any questions if you have. I'll be taking it up in the chat box.
Yeah,